Hello students, myself Dr. Girish Kun, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Mahatma Phule Arts and Commerce College, Panvel. Today we are going to discuss the spacing between the parallel planes of the given Miller indices. The question that can be asked based on the interplanar spacing is that show that in a cubic crystal structure the spacing between the consecutive parallel planes of the Miller indices HKL is given by. So you have to show that. So DHKL will be equal to A upon under square root H square plus K square plus L square. So you have to prove it or you have to show that. Or the another question that can be asked, find out the interplanar spacing DHKL for consecutive parallel planes of the Miller indices HKL. So you have to find out the interplanar spacing. So this is a general question. Over here crystal structure system has not been defined. So you have to find out the general equation in order to find out the interplanar spacing. So that expression you have to find out for the given Miller indices HKL. Over here crystal structure system is not defined. Another question that can be asked, find out the interplanar spacing DHKL between successive HKL planes passing through the corners of the unit cell. Okay, so such a different types of questions can be asked in order to show the interplanar spacing or in order to find out the interplanar spacing of the cubic crystal structure system or any type of a crystal structure system. So basically what in order to find out the interplanar spacing we must know the set of parallel planes. Okay, so basically the considered set of parallel planes are considered such a way that the one plane is going to pass through the origin and the another one is a parallel and it is separated by certain distance d. Okay, so these are the planes I have drawn these planes in a two dimension. That's why it is a line. But if we rotate the system in a 90 degree, it will become a plane. It will become a plane of such a kind. It will be like a square type of a shape. So that is called as a plane. So this is the first our consideration. Okay. So first now we have to consider the three coordinate axes, that is OX, OY, OZ, which forms the Cartesian coordinate system. And for the given plane HKL, as a HKL plane has been given, so this HKL plane now we are going to consider that it is going to intersect these three crystallographic axes. Okay, so this HKL plane is going to intersect this three axes X, Y and Z at X or at A, B, C, and this OA distance is X, OB distance is Y and OC distance is Z. Okay, so these are the intercept. X, Y, Z is nothing but the intercept of the this HKL plane on the three crystallographic axes. Okay, so over here by the definition of Miller indices, this intercept OA is nothing but the A upon H. What is the A? A is nothing but the lattice parameter. B is also nothing but the so A, B, C, these are the lattice parameters, and H, K, L are the Miller indices along the x direction, y direction and Z direction corresponding to A, B, C or corresponding to intercept made by the plane on the three crystallographic axes, which we have discussed in the finding out the Miller indices. Okay, so by the definition of Miller indices, this OA is nothing but the A upon H, OB is nothing but the B upon K and OC is nothing but the C upon L. And firstly, before going ahead, we'll prove how this OA becomes equal to A upon H, OB becomes equal to B upon K, and OC becomes equal to C upon L. We will first of all find out that, we will understand that, and then we will go ahead for the rest calculation. So in order to understand, we have to consider the the one plane which is going to intersect on this three crystallographic axes at three different intercepts. So let us consider this is the one plane which is going to intersect on the x-axis at a 3a distance, on a y-axis at a 4b distance, and on a z-axis it is intersecting at a 2c. Okay, so basically this 3a is the intercept along the x-axis, 4b along the y-axis, and 2c along the z-axis. So these are the intercept. So in order to find out the Miller indices, so first of all we will find out the Miller indices. So it will give these Miller indices is nothing but the three integers enclosed in a bracket which indicates the set of a parallel planes, which indicates the set of a parallel planes. So basically many parallel planes we can define or we can nomenclate or specify only by three numbers. So that three numbers enclosed in a parenthesis or circular bracket is called as a Miller indices. So firstly, for this plane, as we know the intercept, we can find out the Miller indices, and then we will understand what is the how this OA, OB, and OC becomes A upon H, B upon K, and C upon L. Okay, so that's the our ultimate goal to understand. So first of all, we will find out the Miller indices for this plane. So the first step that we used to do for the finding the Miller indices, to take the reciprocal of this intercept. So by excluding the primitive translation vector. So just we have to consider the its coordinates of the A, B, C. So coordinate of A is a 3, B is a 4, and C is a 2. So we have to take their reciprocal. So 1 upon 3 for x, 1 upon 4 for y, and 1 half for z has been considered. Then least common multiplier is the least. So for the second step, in order to find out the Miller indices, we have to find out the least common multiplier of this reciprocal. So a least common multiplier is the number. If we multiply this number to the reciprocals or the fraction, it converts into the integer number. So this for this reciprocals, the least common multiplier is nothing but the 12. So if we multiply by the 12 to each this reciprocal, we will get the integer. So that is the third step that we used to do. So by multiplying the 12 or LCM, 12 divided by 3 is nothing but the 4. 12 divided by 4 is nothing but the 3, and 12 divided by 2 is nothing but the 6. So 4, 3, 6, these numbers we have to enclose into the bracket which gives the Miller indices. So 4, 3, 6 are the Miller indices in this case. Now previously we know the, as we know, lattice parameters are generally, or primitive translation vector are A, B, C, right? And if this intercepts are unknown, like in the previous case we consider x, y, z, right, or OA, OB, OC. So that's our consideration. So if we do the calculation with the OA is nothing but the A upon H. So A is unknown and H is a 4, right, over here. In this case H is a 4. So A upon H is nothing but the if we do, then it will be 0.25. For B upon K, I mean 1 by 3, so it is 0.33b. And for OC, C upon L, so L is nothing but the 6, so 1 upon C, 6 is nothing but the 0.16666, so on up to 7c. So these fractions we will get. And what is the missing term over here is the least common multiplier that we have not included in this case. So if we put the least common multiplier over here, we will get the integers 3a, 4b 2c. How it becomes? If we multiply the 12 to 0.25a, it will become 3a. If we multiply the 12 to this number, it will become 4b, and if we multiply by the 12 to this number, it will becomes 2c. So in this way we can prove that OA is nothing but the A upon H, OB is nothing but the B upon K, and OC is nothing but the C upon L. But you people has to remember that the missing term over here is a least common multiplier in this relation, and that least common multiplier is the same for all these numbers. It is same 12 everywhere, it is a 12, right? Everywhere it is a 12. So as it is the same, so it is ignored. So in this way we understand that OA is nothing but the A upon H, OB is nothing but the B upon K, OC is nothing but the C upon L. So now we have to consider the line ON. This line, we have to consider the line ON, which is a perpendicular, to this Miller indices plane or the given plane. Okay, so it is a perpendicular. So over here at this point, it is making the 90-degree angle. I mean, like if this is the plane, the line will be like this. So it is a perpendicular. So ON is nothing but the perpendicular line made on the plane from the origin. So that is our consideration. And this line ON makes the angle with the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis as alpha dash, beta dash and gamma dash. Means this ON line is going to make angles with the three crystallographic axes, and which has been considered as alpha dash, beta dash and gamma dash. Alpha dash, beta dash and gamma dash. These are the angles made by the perpendicular line on the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Now, as I told you, the another parallel planes to this ABC plane will be passed through this. It will be passed through this origin. So this ON is nothing but the interplanar spacing. So we have to consider ON is the interplanar spacing. So ON distance is also the distance between two successive parallel planes HKL, which is universally denoted by DHKL. So you people has to remember that this DHKL is a universal symbol to designate or to nomenclate the interplanar spacing of the given Miller indices HKL. So this is the symbol DHKL. Okay. Now what we will do? So see, now step by step we are going to go ahead. So firstly, now we will consider the right angle triangle. So as this ON is a perpendicular on this plane, right? On this plane it is a perpendicular. So that's why ONA, this ONA will be right angle triangle, right? So ONA, so this angle will be right angle, it will be right angled. So this triangle will be right angle triangle. So in this case we know, so over here in this case ONA, this x-axis is going to make the angle alpha dash, y-axis is going to make the angle beta dash, and z-axis is going to make the angle gamma dash. So these different angles are there. So this alpha dash is the angle between the x-axis and the perpendicular or normal. Okay, so we can find from the right angle triangle, we can find out the cos alpha dash. So cos alpha dash is nothing but the DHKL. Okay, DHKL, and then the hypotenuse. But hypotenuse we know A upon H, which is nothing but the OA. So DHKL upon A upon H becomes DHKL, because this H is a denominator of denominator, so it will go to the numerator. So DHKL into H upon A. So similarly we can find out the cos beta dash and cos gamma dash, which has been specified over here. So cos beta dash is nothing but the DHKL K upon B, as only these two parameters will be changed, K upon B, and similarly cos gamma dash will be equal to DHKL into L upon C. Now we know the cosine square rule of direction. We know the cosine squared rule of direction, which is nothing but the cos square alpha dash plus cos square beta dash plus cos square gamma dash is equal to 1. So by putting these values of cos alpha dash, beta dash and gamma dash into this equation 2, we will get this equation. So as we know, DHKL is common everywhere, so we can take it out from the bracket. So D square HKL will be there. So DH square will be come out from the bracket, and in the bracket H square upon A square plus K square upon B square plus L square upon C square equal to 1 will be remain there. And our ultimate aim is to find out the DHKL. So this rest term will take to the right hand side. Okay, so over here the remaining term has been taken to the right hand side, and the square root of both direction has been taken. So DHKL is equal to 1 upon under square root H square upon A square plus K square upon B square plus L square upon C square. So this is the final equation that we are that we have to show. So this was the previous equation, and square root of it, if we take the square root of both sides, we will get this final equation. And we know, if suppose the Kirchhoff system is given, we have to use the relation between lattice parameter A, B, C, and we have to simplify the equation, and then we have to mention it. For cubic crystal structure system, we know A equal to B equal to C. So as A equal to B equal to C, so simply we can replace it by the A everywhere, and in that case the denominator becomes equal, and as denominator becomes equal, so it will be the same. So upon A square will be remaining, and if we take out from the square bracket, it will becomes A only, which will go to the numerator, because it will be the denominator of denominator, so it will go to the numerator. So in this case, for the cubic crystal structure system, DHKL is nothing but the A upon under square root H square plus K square plus L square. So this is the final ultimate our aim or goal that has to do. So in this way you can show that the interplanar spacing is general equation, whose general equation is nothing but the DHKL is equal to 1 upon under square root H square upon A square plus K square upon L square plus K square upon B square plus L square upon C square. So this will be the general equation. If crystal structure system is not given, in that case you have to show this equation or you have to prove this equation. But if the crystal structure system is given, then in that case you have to use the relation between the interplanar spacing, and then accordingly you have to find out the interplanar spacing. Okay, so as over here cubic crystal structure system is given, so we are using this equation. As hexagonal crystal structure system, if suppose hexagonal crystal structure is given, then in that case what we have to do, we know the relation A equal to B not equal to C. So these relations we have to keep it over here, and accordingly we have to derive the new equation. And as A equal to B not equal to C, so DHKL, this equation will be equal to 1 upon under square root H square plus K square upon A square plus L square. So this will be the final equation. Okay, so this is about the finding the interplanar spacing. Thank you for watching this video.